Now joining a pre-show already in progress.
Like, food content is so much. It is like so much.
Yeah, I just, I think I think one of the things that I'm sort of trying to keep my mind around is like, as I'm learning this whole content creation thing, is that there is a learning curve, right? And so I'm allowed to sort of figure out and find my way through it. I put a lot of pressure on myself to sort of have a schedule, have it mapped out, and sometimes, sometimes I can stick to these things. Other times life happens and I need to sort of adjust or figure out the best way to do it. And I'm just in a space now where I'm trying to be okay with finding my way through this.
Absolutely.
While trying to figure out my job and my life and all the other
That's
things.
Getting grown, Patreon. You all getting a real conversation because I forgot we was recording.
Oh, yes. Hello, pre-show.
Oh, my God. So this boy in my class, he came up I was frying. And he came up and he was like, Mama Jade, something, something, something.
Mama
and
Jade?
So,
is that what they
well,
call
what's
you?
so interesting is, that's what they used to call me at the club. When I worked at the jazz club, they called me Mama Jade. And so, some of the, like, musicians would call me Mama Jade. And so I was like, okay. I said the musicians at the club I used to work at called me Mama Jade because a lot of them were, like, Juilliard students and stuff. And he was like, you just have a warm energy. He was like, plus you're the same age as my mom. And I was like, okay, you can fuck off now. You fuck off now.
I did not expect that.
Me neither. I was like, and how does that make you feel? He was like, weird, because you look so young. I was like, good. I'm glad both of us are uncomfortable here. Carry on.
So today, the meetings happen. Some meetings are on the calendar. Other meetings is just like one of my colleagues or somebody would just be like, can you hop on for a second? So I was talking to one of another one of the girls on my team, and we're sort of working on some timelines for some things that we have coming up. And so she, like, all out of nowhere, my supervisor just pops on the screen. And we both were like,
wow. So Patreon, this is a community. We can say it here, we can't say it on the main stage. Keia's supervisor is a terrorist, okay? A monster. Keia will never say it, and it's fine. That lady can see me. It's cool. But she is a beast.
That's not why I brought this up. It's not what I was intending to happen. What I was going to say is she came in and was just like, oh, Keia, I want that shirt. Can you get me that shirt? And then I was like, oh my God.
That rich auntie energy
shirt?
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God. Am I? Like, I thought, like, I immediately was like, wow. Like, she was like, I'm an auntie. And then I didn't want to be like,
nah, you better than me. I would be like, they discontinued. I bought this years ago.
I just was stuck. I was just like, am I like an auntie? Am I like, what? Like,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. But it was one of those weird things. She was like, I'm an auntie. And I was like, And I said, well, girl, I'll send you the website. I got it off.
I kind of understand, though. I think I did that to some of my classmates because they're all like So one of them went up to the other one, and I was standing there changing my clothes, and we, everybody interacts and mingles and stuff. And so she goes up to the other young girl, and she's like, "Did you watch Euphoria last night?" And the girl's like, she's like, "No, I missed the episode." And I was like, "I saw it." And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, bitch, I watch Euphoria, bitch." Like.
You better than me, honey, because I watched one episode and was over here looking over my glasses.
I know.
Like,
first of all, you're fully. When I tell you, I would fully actually pay dollars and cents to sit down and watch an episode of Euphoria with you, just for the reactions of you.
It's really not as entertaining as you think it is. It is really just silent confusion for most of the time. Just. It's me sitting over here trying to figure out what the heck
I don't think you
I'm
understand,
watching.
though, how entertaining sometimes that silence is. Silence is very loud many times. And so I would pay actual money, especially now recalling certain things about the show in my head after that. Because when I tell you there's so many dicks,
Toya watches Euphoria. She says it's dark.
Dicks.
It's dicks? I didn't know it was
dark.
dick in Euphoria. What?
It is so much dick.
Really?
It is like dicks galore. Yeah, it's a sea full of dicks.
Get out.
Did you ever see that tweet years ago where somebody was like, I was swim through a sea full of dicks to slap the shit out of you?
No, I missed that. That one got by me. Can't say I saw it.
What? That was one of the funniest things.
Can't say I saw that. Can't say I saw it.
That made me think of that. It's a sea full of dicks on Euphoria. It's so
Speaking
much
of
dick,
there was a full frontal dick sighting in this last episode of And Just Like That, and I didn't see it coming. No pun intended.
What's in Just Like That?
Sex in the City.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I was just sitting here minding my business. You know,
wait, that's what it's called. It's
And
called
Just Like
And
That.
Just Like That.
Yes, because that's Carrie's like catchphrase throughout the whole.
Oh.
And just like that, and just like that, like that's like every episode she says, and just like that. That's so it's like
that's like the white lady's way of saying at the end of the day.
Yes. That is exactly right. It is the middle-aged white women way of saying, at the end of the day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
or like not for nothing.
Or I'm not gonna hold you, but
right. Not for nothing.
Not for nothing. 9 times out of 10.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. At the end of a very long day.
When it's all said and done.
So yes, this is what it is. And it, how I be in here watching these shows, writing my lists on the computer, doing a host of all kinds of things. And I mean, just out of nowhere, a penis. And I was just like, oh.
It was white. It was
white, and I did not want.
That's how Euphoria.
I was like,
Euphoria is so much. It's white penis, which is like papaya.
Papaya is funny to me.
It's so.
It's
peach.
like it was so weird, and this one.
Yeah.
This one was very small.
Or small. Oh, it was small.
I mean, the very is relative. It was the very is relative. I might be giving it a lot by saying very. I didn't give it a lot of eye contact, so it was just kind of like, oh. But it was not a penis to speak of for me.
So y'all gonna show a penis, and it's gonna be like a mid penis?
It was. For me, and I have to be honest, it's not something that I gave a lot of. I saw it and was like, I swatted it like a fly, but like, oh. But
can I be honest,
please,
I'm not really a connoisseur. Like, there's some bitches. We have a good friend of ours that we share that loves a beautiful penis, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I can acknowledge that. Yeah, that's a nice penis if somebody was to show it to me, but I don't really care to just look at dick. It's just not really like, it doesn't come out and I just be like, yes, daddy. Like, it's not really my.
That's fair.
I went to a male strip club one time for a bachelorette, and the nigga came wiggling his sock up over here, and I was like, I'm back here for a reason.
So male strippers, I think, are just one of those things in life that we could do without.
I agree fully.
I haven't been exposed to many of them, but in the times where I have been, it was just something that I regretted for many reasons. And I've never been to a male strip club. I have been to many sort of home parties, house parties, home celebrations, and someone would just invite, and then I'd just be in there like, oh.
Why?
What is this?
Usually those parties that we're at, they're not coming to dance for us.
So that's the first time this happened, I was very young. I was in college.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to someone's dorm, like suite across the campus, just to sort of, for the let out, kicking it, not having any sort of inclination that this was an actual function, and out of nowhere, this stripper comes into the room. And so what I thought was really interesting about this is that it seems as though this man had a point to prove. He was a short man. And it seemed like he sort of set his sights on the largest or larger people in the room.
He was a conqueror.
And so I had to have a very stern conversation with him, several points throughout, because he thought he was going to, just handle me, pick me up, and all of that. And I had to have and I said, and he came, he was standing behind me. And I remember this specifically because his penis was resting on my shoulder. And
oh my God.
Like, it's like, oh, what?
It's always the shoulder.
What?
Why is it always my shoulder?
I just remember being aghast. We talking a 17-year-old Keia.
Oh.
Mortified. Okay.
Oh, I know you were.
Mortified. Like, what is going on? Huh? Like, confusion. And you're like, what did I want to do? Go to my room and call my mama. But you can't call Rhonda and say that some strange man had his penis on my shoulder. There's no way. So I had to process these things alone. I mean, within myself, trying to figure out how the hell did I get myself into this situation. And so he's like, trying to, it's okay. No, it will be okay when your penis is away from me, sir.
On my shoulder. Yeah, no, you better than me. I told that nigga, I said, you've got to go across this room right now. Do I even look like I'm interested? He moseyed on.
I was fascinated, though, because I feel like, I've been to many strip clubs and seen all kinds of women strippers. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
I just feel like,
countless times.
hell yeah. But you go and, I feel like what I appreciate is you can sit in your seat and watch what is happening. And, there's a safe distance between you and what's happening, right? And if
let me tell you,
if you desire to get close to it, I mean, with my leg crossed and enjoy, and I
will sit and eat a chicken wing.
Have a time.
She might take a trek to the bathroom, but
with
she's going to stay where she's at.
And I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to be content there, right? So people, it's not about me not having a good time. It's not about I'm upset or whatever. I'm just comfortable. If you can promise me a seat and some refreshments, I will go. I will ride out. Jay will attest. I will ride out to the function.
Keia knows. The bonus is if you can smoke in there, I am it. So I too will be in my seat.
Period. And so I feel like in the situation where I've been to the strip club, I have absolutely not had a problem because, I'm seated and I'm just sort of taking in the sights and I'm away from, I can sort of, have my space. But I feel like in male stripper situations, there's this invasion of space. It's like, why do you got to be over here? If you want to do that over there, carry on. But you and your penis have no need to touch me. Exactly. But there are people who are enjoying it and loving it. I remember, I think I was in the minority, but when I was in this room in my freshman year in college, when I was in this room, there were girls who I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, no shade, no judgment. Everyone get your life, have a great time. But I just, that's a distinction that I, I can deal with the strippers as long as I can keep my social distancing.
Yeah, that's fair. And, I have a good time too. Just please don't put your dick on my shoulder.
Just don't touch me. And I think we'll be okay.
I think so. Just don't put your dick on my shoulder.
And listen, I think the same. So, I feel like, as far as to your original point, I think that I'm not a person either that I can appreciate a good looking penis. You see a good one, and you're like, well, that is Okay,
that's a nice one.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
And you can appreciate it and go on.
Smooth.
But I don't go on
the
like
balls are in the race.
yes,
what I'm saying?
everything, just in terms of the beauty of the anatomy as it naturally is, it
stands where it
whew,
should.
well, that is
It's
nice.
tight.
That's nice. He takes good care of himself. I'd love to see that.
Absolutely.
But I'm not one of those girls, no. Because then I do know who you're talking about in terms of our friends, but also I feel like I have other friends who just, this is something that they do. They just enjoy. They have folders in their phones of just random.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, get your life, okay?
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. Not me.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. You don't have to, and I don't have to be a part, okay? But yes.
If they don't leave me, if they call me one more time, I'm going to scream.
Who's calling you?
My grandparents.
Oh, be nice.
They're getting on my nerves, man.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing. I know. Did you have a relationship with your paternal grandparents at all? Okay. So I grew up, knowing all 4 of my grandparents and a few great grandparents.
Nice.
One set, it's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
One set was just my niggas. You know what I'm saying? It was my niggas. The other set were also my niggas, but they had a couple of quirks and some things that they've needed to work out. And they continue to have those.
Yes.
And now they're being called out on it and they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're very much like, we are the matriarch and patriarch. And I'm like, yeah, but y'all niggas still wrong in a lot of ways. And they don't like that.
No.
They're also controlling and like irritating sometimes. So now they're getting on my nerves they sent me all these. So basically I was in charge of all of the pictures. I was in charge of a big chunk of my great grandmother's funeral. Mm-hmm. And so I had to have them, they sent me all of the photo albums, all of the hard copies. So I have all the original pictures, my great grandmother's dance pictures, my grandmother's dance pictures. I got all that. I'm going to take those, turn them into digital copies and give them out to all of the grandchildren and the great grandchildren, right?
Nice.
That's the project.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be the great grandchild who will have those pictures and or divvy them up amongst other grandchildren. So they have been calling me down, wanting these pictures back, when these pictures were sitting in boxes in their garage. And so I'm like, I'm not getting ready to bust my ass to send you these pictures. Then one day somebody's going to have to send these pictures back to me, if you get my drift. That's not me being ugly. I'm being real. Somebody's going to have to send these pictures back to me, and y'all running me down just because you want to have them in your possession. Like, I'm not playing these controlling ass bald-headed games with y'all. I was like, so I told her, I was like, I will send you all digital copies of whatever you need. But no, I'm not sending them back to you. And that's just that on that. So, I just got another text from them. And I'm like, you all can harass me until the end of time. I'm not the grandchild that'd be like, okay, I'm not that one. I'm not. So we can go. I love y'all, but we can go.
Well,
I love my grandparents, but they are highly flawed people. Highly. My other grandma, I be talking to her and she'd be like, you know that crazy girl.
My father's father passed when he was 16, and then I was maybe like 9 or 10 when my father's mother passed away. And so I knew of her and I saw her. I think it's a funny story because it's like really just showcases my mama shade. But when she was in the hospital, the last time I saw her living, she was in the hospital, and my mother took me to go see her, and I had never. Of course, I had met her before, but I was a baby, so I had not. I did not remember her. But it was like my first time, the only time really that I sort of remember spending time with her. And we were in her hospital room, and they came and brought her little dinner, and there was a little cup of peaches, and she asked me if I wanted those peaches, and I said no, ma'am, just because I wasn't hungry or didn't really want them.
Right.
And my mama, I don't know if she was trying to stop herself or it wasn't, or she was just, I don't, but my mama said, you better take them peaches because she ain't never gave you nothing else.
Oh, my, in front of her? She said
Pretty sure she said that. In front of that. And so I was just like, and so I took the peaches and was like, thank you. But I mean, just imagine a little 9-year-old girl not really knowing what to do with that. Like, I'm in the middle of some adult business.
Yeah, because you be knowing when it's awkward, you're like, I'm going to take these peaches. I'm taking my peaches down in Georgia. Yeah, that's it.
And I was like, oh, okay.
I was so, I don't know why I thought of Patches. You remember Clarence Carter's Patches? Folks were so raggedy, they used to call me Patches.
I do remember that.
Oh my God, that is okay. So that answers that question. That also answers how Rhonda felt about those grandparents.
I mean, there's just
which is fully understandable.
Yes, and I mean, there's no shade to her, and it was no slight to her. And I mean, in fairness, it was the truth. But
it'd be like that, and I don't think because people are grandparents that they shouldn't be held accountable for their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Including you ain't never been there to try to get to know me or anything. Like, let's be very clear here, and I think you're very well within your right. And anybody who's in these situations are very well within their right to speak up and say that when they do come into interaction, if they do come into interaction with individuals like that. So, yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, listen, we haven't done it in a little while, but it might be time to revisit some of those conversations about boundaries and negotiating like family dynamics. Because those waters are always contentious. Well, they don't have to always be contentious, but there is a lot of potential for all kinds of
contention and what's the word I'm looking for? Regret sometimes when you don't get to say the things, or you have an opportunity and you choose not to in that moment, or I don't know. They're very complicated dynamics.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And
those dynamics are very complicated.
And I think maybe it might be worth revisiting just sort of like things that we've learned or how we've handled or negotiated certain things. I will say that next week's show, I think we're gonna talk about the Great Resignation. I think I got like 50 something responses to my little survey.
Oh yes.
And so
there's a lot of responses.
Lots and lots of folks who've been talking about career transition and what that has meant for them during this season of COVID. And so I think it'll be interesting because there's lots of conversation out here in the news cycles and just sort of generally speaking about how we as a people how this time has really caused us to really sit and think about our lives.
Yep. And
how we live them, and whether and the degree to which we are moving in ways that align with what we want.
Absolutely.
Or what we feel
quit his job in that Great Resignation.
What we feel called to, or what we don't feel called to. We getting clarity. Clarity comes in all kinds and types and forms, and so I think it'll be a good conversation.
I think so.
And so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah,
I think so. I'm excited for that.
Same
Shall we
piece.
begin our episode?
I think we shall. Let me pull up my timestamps here. Oh my goodness.
I'm in California.
Okay. Timey stamps. Are we ready?
Oh yeah.
We are ready. We are ready.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I mean, sing. Sing. Please sing.
Yeah.
I have a 9 a.m. meeting tomorrow, so I'm already like.
She called a 9 a.m. meeting.
Well, she asked, and I mean, I actually, she said it could be 9 or 10, but I have an 11:30, and knowing her, she's not going, like, I know the meeting's not going to be just 1 hour, so I was like, okay. let's meet at 9 so that I can sort of be ready for my 11:30. But it was just one of those Mondays where, when first time I sat down to my computer this morning and opened up my Outlook, I had like 9 emails from one person, and it just sort of shut me down, like.
Yeah,
I can't even before I get started. Like I can't even go.
A very Monday. It was a very
Monday. And I think just sort of in my job and in my life, I feel like I'm really looking around and thinking about like, wow, I gotta figure out this can't be it.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, and I'm not saying like wholesale, I'm going to, leave or, I just feel like there's got to be a better sort of setup, because I'm anxious. Like, I'm not even trying to be dramatic, but like literally open up my email and seeing all of these, like it just being the first thing that hit me. I wasn't good. I was not good. I was like, all I see is like urgency. I didn't have an opportunity to sort of ease into my day. And just as I think about all that's coming up and still really feeling like nobody has stopped and sort of like said, okay, let's figure out how best to manage this. It's just like keep piling stuff on. And it's like, yo, I don't really see how we're going to get all this done. But yeah, I don't see how we get all this done. I just don't.
I woke up this morning like, damn, I don't want to go. I just want to go back to sleep. That's what I want to do. And I can't do that right now. And I have to get it out of my head that I can't do that.
It is hard. It's right really hard. And I have to, I don't know. I feel like previously, and I said I was going to make a video about this for Patreon, because I feel like in the past, I've been able to sort of bounce, when I have a heart, I can just sort of find a way to just figure out how to keep going. And like we was talking about with Fran, I don't feel like I am still struggling.
It's the pandemic, and I think people are realizing. I had a friend post recently who is a very busy individual, and she was like, I don't know how I used to go to work out before work, go to work, go get drinks after work, go to dinner after drinks, maybe stop somewhere else, go home, go to bed, get up and do it the next day. Like, I don't know how I operated like that. She's like, now I do one thing and I need to take a nap.
And
I think that this time, out of the obvious has been rewiring us, because not only are the systems that we see in place, governmental, financial, all of that, not only are those not sustainable, how we were living was not sustainable. And I think that our minds are kind of fighting a little bit right now between how we knew life and how things are transitioning into a new space. Yeah. And we have to figure out how to transition into that.
I'm absolutely
And it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely feeling that dissonance. Where it's like, I was telling my coworker earlier, it's like, I'm doing so much, right? And I know that I can do a lot of things, but the question is, would I rather do a few things really well, or to do all of these things and just be barely holding myself together? And I'm realizing that at one point I was probably doing more of the latter, And now I'm trying to do more of the former. I want to be able to devote my attention and energy and focus to a few things and really do them really, really well. As opposed to feeling like I got to have my hand in every single thing. I don't need to be a part of every conversation. I don't have to be at every meeting. And I think that I know that there are ways that I can work that will get me closer to that place. But I just gotta be. I'm hoping, my prayer going forward is that, like, God will give me perspective and strategy and show me how to negotiate this season so that I can transition into whatever season is coming, because I'm feeling like all the time, like,
I was feeling like that, especially the last couple of weeks. I was like, man, at certain points I would stop and be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with me?
That was me today. Literally at like 11 a.m. I was just like, I can't get it together. Like, I can't get it together today. And I mean, I know that there are so many things that I have to do, but I can't even, like, I just felt the anxiety, the anxiousness, like, it was like in my body. Like, I was like,
I know.
I told Toy, I was like, I'm just walking around my house in circles. Just like, I don't know. What am I supposed to be doing?
Same. I would stop in the middle of the living room and be like, and Tristan's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just don't know what the fuck is wrong with me.
Like,
I don't know, man. I can't.
But, yes, we are figuring it out. But
that's what it is. We're transitioning and we're feeling that transition. And sometimes it's not even about trying to do. Sometimes it's just about acknowledging that you're feeling off and, sitting with that and just allowing yourself to feel. Sometimes it's just allowing yourself to feel. You know what I'm saying? We don't always have to do every time we feel something. And I think that's where a lot of that angst and stuff comes from too, because we feel like we have to be doing something and we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
The push to do, when sometimes it's just about being.
Yes.
I'm supposed to
Crystal
be.
Jean called me out on that the other day. She came over and I was doing stuff. And then I was literally like, I think I was walking back and she goes, why are you looking for stuff to do? And I was like, you're right. I'm going to just sit here and smoke this blunt. She's like, sit down. Why are you looking for stuff to do?
Sit down.
Like, oh, man. It's true.
Please sit down.
I'm the queen of looking for things to do because I don't. And that's another thing I had to realize about myself. I don't know how to rest.
Well, I'm learning how to rest. And I don't know how to not shame myself or not. Because, like, in the moments during the weekend where I did not do, like, work, but the stuff's like, I had bought a little console table for the living room and put some things together. I'm doing a little backsplash in the kitchen. So, on Saturday I spent some time just sort of working on the house. And so I was just like, on Sunday, it was just like, dang, I'm behind. I got so much to do, blah, 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 blah. And I was just caught myself like, I should have did this. I should have did this. I should have did that. And it was just like, no, girl. No.
You should have done just what you did.
I had a very big, busy, full day on Friday, and I got a lot done. And it's just, if I know myself, it's very rare that I have 2 days in a row where I'm just typing fast, right? So sometimes I got to have, I got to sort of step back so that hopefully the next couple of days I have another big push where I can sort of get a few things checked off the box. But, just being okay with the cycle of things.
Yeah.
And the way that things naturally come together and not feeling like I need to change who I am in order to find my way through this, but really, instead of changing who I am, really learn more about who I am and use that information to make better choices.
Absolutely.
So,
and you see how I'm trying. Me and Keia set up a new recording time for Patreon content, and I had to call Keia after we said it and be like, sister, I can't do any weekends because I if I do the weekends, then because I sat and I thought about it. I was like, if I do the weekends, I'm literally giving myself one day, and I'm not. Who's guaranteed to be resting on one day? So I think we're both just trying to navigate this transition and figure out how we can flow with it where we're not exhausting ourselves.
For sure.
And just trying to work with it. It's not easy. So if you're feeling weird right now, you're not the only one.
Yes, I'm gonna do it. That was the first catching up with Keia video I did on Patreon, where I was talking about like it's okay to not be okay, and I think the next iteration is gonna be like still not okay. Still, I'm sorry. I thought I was trying to wait until I felt differently, but the truth is I don't feel differently. And so yeah.
Period. Shall we get into this episode?
I think we shall. I'm ready to turn on the Zoom whenever you are. You ready?
Samesies.
Okay, pressing record.
Also.